Deep in the mountains of Georgia, north of the town of Kutaisi, there sits a place with a mysterious past, a relic to the Soviet Union, an empire that once was. This place, this Soviet ghost town, is known as Skaltubo.
Yeah, Georgian.
That's my guide right there. Took me up here to Skaltubo. And this is the entrance to the sanatorium. Wow. This is beautiful. As you can see, other people are here too. It's kind of a popular place to come visit. Look at this. This is beautiful. I think my guide is having an argument with that taxi driver that just pulled up. Getting the real Georgia experience. Look at that. Wow. Look at those beautiful pillars. Really impressive architecture. I do like me some Soviet architecture. Honestly, it does look really, really cool. Alright, let's head up these stairs here and see where it takes us. A little bit of graffiti, but not too bad. Wow, just look at this. This is beautiful. Okay, we're gonna head in to where this broke down door is. Hopefully the door doesn't break on me. Oh. Alright, and I'm in. Look at this place. Wow. It's been a while since I've been to a good abandoned building. Some of you that are new to the channel might not know this, but I actually started this channel exploring abandoned places. This place is really beautiful, really photogenic. Imagine what it was like to be here back in the 30s or the 40s. Wow, I mean, just look at that. All right, we got some good photos. We're going to continue our journey through this incredible place. This is definitely like an urban explorer's dream location. Ooh, watch the glass. It's very photogenic. Look at that. Those pillars are so nice. Probably should have worn boots instead of tennis shoes, but it'll be okay. I got my tetanus shot. That should be alright. Very nice weather today. A lot warmer than I thought it would be for October. Ooh, look at this room. That's a spooky room right there. Oh, we got some stairs. So I guess that's where we're going next. We're going up. In the early 20th century, the Bolsheviks would take over Russia and form the Soviet Union. Eventually, many countries would fall under the banner of the Soviets. In the 1920s, a series of sanatoriums for workers on vacation were being constructed across the Soviet Union. In 1922, Georgia would be subjugated into the USSR after an invasion by the Red Army. Shortly after, construction on the resort would begin. In 1931, Skaltubo would be officially deemed a premier relaxation center, drawing in people from all across the USSR. A couple of years later, in 1933, a plan to expand the resort would be conceived. New facilities would be added and constructed in a centrifuge around the spas themselves. More expansions would be added in the 40s and 50s. Due to the resort, Skaltubo would expand from a small village to a full city by 1953. A rail line would be constructed that connected the resort town directly to Moscow. It was quickly becoming the most popular tourist destination in the USSR, especially for the party's elites. By the late 80s, the spa featured 24 sanatoriums, a hydro-mineral research lab, and 9 bathhouses. But this extravagant place wouldn't last forever. All right, floor 2. Nice. It's so funny that I can hear people stomping around in this place. This seems so desolate, but it is actually a fairly popular tourist destination for locals and foreigners. Oh man, my back is killing me. I was born in the 1900s. Makes me old. Every old person watching this knows what I'm talking about. I've been hauling roughly 30 pounds of camera equipment all over Georgia this past week, so my back definitely hurts. I'm definitely feeling it. But you know what? That's what I'm willing to do for you guys. Those are the sacrifices I make to bring you high quality content. And now we're outside. Incredible. We have a nice staircase here. That's where we entered from, right there, those pillars. That was the first floor we were on. Now we're up here. Give you a good idea of where we're at. So here's a better look at those stairs. And look at that, right there. Alright, we're going to head up to the next floor now. I do believe I can hear my guide still arguing with that taxi driver. I have no idea what they're talking about because I don't speak Georgian, of course, but I appreciate the authentic Georgian experience, though. Ooh. That's cool. That is also cool. Look at that door. Oh my gosh. And that is the roof. Oh boy, I love me some roofs. Now, is this the third floor or technically the fourth floor? Because if you remember, there is a basement. But we're kind of on a hill, so I don't know if you'd really consider it a basement per se. Maybe that's actually the first floor. Now that is a beautiful building right there. I accidentally hit the display button on my camera that turned the display off, and it was kind of freaking me out for a minute. I thought I broke it. Oh, there's my guide down there, because he's walking around. This place is absolutely beautiful. Ooh, that's a cool tree. Oh, we got a stairwell here leading back down. Let's see how far down it goes. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to follow me on Instagram too, so that way you can see all the photos I'm taking. Not to sound arrogant, but I do think I'm a pretty decent photographer. And then that's the entrance right there, where we came in from. Mind the gap. Elevator shaft right there. This place is really incredible. One could say it's going to elevate my content to new heights. Speaking of heights, who did that? They had to have like suspended themselves somehow. Or they have really long arms. Either way, be rationally crazy. Well, whoever did that is not rationally crazy. They're just crazy. Alright, I found a very photogenic area. Very nice. Very, very nice. See, this is where we were looking at before. See? Oops, sorry. I just hit the door with the camera. We're going to go down that hallway next, but first, look at what's behind these big doors. That really cool chair. Beautiful view of the pillars, the entrance. Some cool little graffiti. And then you can kind of see where we came in from right down there. Really, really cool. So this right here is the building we're going to enter in next. This little wasp there. So we're going to go back through here. A really cool view of the pillars there. And then we're going to take a left right down that hall. Very, very photogenic place. Alright, we're heading down here. Look at this. Bunch of clothes in there. Oh, this door's got a padlock on it. Interesting. Now remember, there used to be people living here, and ooh, that's really cool. And there still are, I believe, around 11 people living here in the abandoned sanatorium still. So if we come across any locked doors or anything like that, I'll just leave them alone. I don't want to disturb anybody. I hear water. So, clothesline right there.
Hear water down here. Let's go investigate. Might be somebody washing their clothes. It's a nice stairwell. Look at that. Really cool hallways. This is the entrance to this building from the ground. Very, very cool. The water's coming from down here. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this is just the spring water that runs throughout the mountain range. Thought maybe somebody was washing clothes or something down here. So right there is where the water is coming from. Ooh, sorry about that. That was an old man grunt. Very cool. Very cool place. Ooh, where does this lead us to? Wow. Look at this. This is beautiful. Incredible. Alright, let's see what this building has to offer. A lot of debris I keep tripping on. Very cool. Very, very cool. Look at all that nature. Alright, let's head up these stairs here. Heading up to the next floor. Wow. Really cool. Alright, I'm going to head back to the other building now. Something I think is really cool are these boot marks in the concrete. Those must have been from when the place was originally constructed over 100 years ago now. I hope none of these plants are like poison ivy or anything. Oh, I hear people talking over there. Wow, look at this fountain. That is really cool. Really, really cool. I think there's more sanatoriums. Well, I know there's more sanatoriums, but I mean, I think there's more abandoned sanatoriums because several of them have been purchased and are being renovated. But this is a really big area. There's a lot spread out throughout all of Scuttalbo. There's definitely some kind of city project or construction going on nearby. Wow, look at this architecture. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. this is where the refugees lived.
Putin.
Oh, okay. Wow. This is incredible. Man, this place is really amazing. Gonna head upstairs. Wow. Oh wow, look at this. Look at this. This is so cool. Wow. So this is the section where the refugees were being housed. And I believe there's still people living here. Alright, we'll head up to the next floor now. Yeah, like I was saying before, this resort is really big. See, this one has a lock on it. That means somebody's probably still living in there. Remember, there's about 12 families, I believe, that are still living here. Yeah, padlocks on those doors too. Here we are at the top floor, not including the attic. Take a good old-fashioned Carolina look-see here, see what we got out here. Okay, this is the view. It's not a bad view, huh?
While the eyes of the world have been fixed on events in Russia, to the south, a civil war in Georgia has become increasingly savage.
These fighters belong to the Confederation of Caucasian Mountain Republics, a loose assembly of Muslim people from South Russia.
The Chechens are convinced the Russians are behind Georgia's actions against the Abkhazians
a fellow mountain people.
The number of weapons in Tbilisi has reached lethal proportions. All this is pushing Mr. Shevardnadze into imposing what he calls a special regime.
Georgia, under this fascist rule, is a cancer for the whole Russia.
Hundreds of desperate civilians trying to fight their way on board every plane.
Civil war is always a very dirty, cruel, awful business.
In December of 1991, the Soviet Union would collapse. The resort would become abandoned, but that would be the least of the problems that Georgia would face. Soon after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Georgia would descend into a civil war. The Abkhazia region to the north declared independence, and authorities would begin ethnically cleansing Georgians. As the war escalated, many refugees found themselves taking shelter amongst the abandoned buildings in the resort. At least 10,000 families that were displaced took refuge in the resort. Hundreds of them lived there until 2021, when efforts were made by authorities to relocate them.
There are still 12 families that call the sanatorium home. The government is making efforts to try and rebuild the resorts. Between 2013 and 2022, many of the sanatoriums have been put up for sale. Some of them have been purchased, but due to the displaced still living in them, not much work has been done.
According to a BBC article from 2024, some of the sanatoriums have begun being renovated. There are plans for new resorts and restaurants to be built here, which would completely revitalize the area. For now, much of it is still abandoned. Skaltubo is a fascinating place. It exists almost as a microcosm of the USSR. It rose to power and promised progress and change for the people, only to become abandoned and destroyed in the end. A relic of a time long past. But the story of Skaltubo isn't over yet. Georgia is a country that has faced many challenges over its thousands of years of existence. Fighting off invasion after invasion from its neighbors, it has been through a lot. Now, it's an independent country, changing rapidly over the last 30 years in order to stand on its own. The abandoned Skaltubo may be the story of the Soviet Union, but the revitalized and rebuilt Skaltubo may be the story of Georgia. For that reason, Skaltubo shall never be forgotten.
loved in the cluttered, I tossed in the gutter to float on by.